it's been an interesting couple of days, really. I've had very little contact with my loved ones down there, but it's starting to slowly but surely come through and have a little more contact. But I can tell you this is really brought a lot of people together. It's I tell you, Robin, when you live in an island community like the Virgin Islands, and you see you see how beautiful it is every day, and you become really close with a lot of people, and they become your extended family, if you will. And to see what's happening to them and to see what everybody's going through is just really hard.
Okay, so you've had some limited contact there. Can you tell me a little bit about what your friends are saying that they went through during the storm? For example, the 30 people and 10 dogs that hunkered down in your property, even though you weren't there.
Yeah, I did. My house was a very. We felt that it was a very safe place for everyone because it was built with, stone, concrete, bricks, and it was in an area of the island where we didn't feel like we were going to get a direct wind. So I felt like that if they went downstairs, that it would be a very safe place. And I did. I had about 20 people in my house, and I'm a big dog lover, so I made sure all the dogs were in there also, and so. They were scared. They were really scared. And then I had 200-mile-an-hour wind tested windows throughout my house, and every window in the house just went out. And they just blew out. So these people were really scared. They found more. They found more shelter in a big closet, and was in that closet for a long time. And they made it. And luckily a lot of people have made it. And it was just they said it was one of the most scariest things they've ever been through, obviously, in their life.
And a lot of people are, island tested, and so they've been through storms. But this one is different. As we're talking to you, we're looking at some of the overhead shots finally coming out of the neighboring St. Thomas area, too, right next door to St. John. For the folks who haven't visited the USVIs and other places in the islands, what do you know are the challenges to getting help, getting out, getting ambulances, and then rebuilding?
Well, it's going to take a while. I think the last hurricane to do this, something close to this damage, was Andrew, and it took them 4 years to recover. So it's just this is the strongest storm to ever hit those islands, and through St. John, St. Croix. St. Croix didn't get hit that bad, but St. Thomas, Joost Van Dyke, St. Bart, St. Martin. And it's just, I think, Robin, what's the toughest part is just the infrastructure. And it's Florida is dealing with that right now, and they're getting ready to get hit. And they're planning better, and so these places that didn't really have a lot of infrastructure anyway, that was just that, these people live off the sea, and they live off the land, and they live off each other. And these communities just... They're facing an uphill battle, and they're facing years of cleanup. And I think that the thing right now that I'm most worried about is, the hospitals need help. I'm worried about all the dogs there. And I'm in my plane. I'm sending so much water and dog food to the Virgin Islands, because just so many people are displaced. And I think that's the right word to say is yes, we will rebuild and then we will recover. But and the people that I know there and the people that I've grown to love, they're really hard workers, and they've got great hearts, and it's hard to rock them, even with a hurricane with this size. And that's the thing that I'm most proud of, is my island family has a lot of heart, and I know that they're gonna, that we're gonna recover, but it's gonna take a lot of help.
And I don't even know that we have the full breadth of the. I don't know that we know yet the full breadth of the damage. For example, they're shutting down that hospital on St. Thomas and evacuating the patients out. So we do have a shot of your plane. It's already loaded up with water and dog food for the first go-round, showing your heart for the people, the pets there. And who you're not going to be going this go-round, but who else is on that plane?
Well, my boat captain is on there. The head of St. John Rescue is on there, and the head of the St. John Virgin Islands is on that plane. And
what are they saying that they have to get down there and do? Where do you even start?
Well, it's just to see where you start. I think one thing that is the toughest for everyone is, when the storm hit, it was late in the day and nobody could see the devastation. So what I got from all of my friends and some of the pictures that were able to come through miraculously is that was the first time they were able to see it, is when the sun come up the next day. And this community, this beautiful island that everybody has just gravitated to for so many years, was just, out of a better way to say it, was just gone. And it's hard.
Yeah, and I think about folks like yourself who you've grown to have a heart for the people there. And as I was texting you last night, I realized that you are so thoughtful that you buried the lead, so to speak, in that I said, well, oh, Kenny, I'm sorry I didn't ask. I hope your house is okay. And you told me.
Yeah, it's just simply gone. I mean,
his house is gone.
Yeah. So that place and the people mean so much more to me than my house. And I think that we're all going to come together, and we're going to do so much to try to rebuild it. But I tell you, it's just the people's soul down there, they're hurting, and for me, I've always felt that music was medicine, and I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to try to relieve some stress from people that I've really grown to love over the years, who have meant so much to my life. And this place, these islands, have meant so much to me. I mean, they've shaped me as a human being. It's given me creativity. It's giving me a different way of looking at the world, a different window to see the world through. And when you look through that window right now, as you can tell, it's just devastation. It looks like it's really odd to see such a beautiful place look like a war zone.
I want to ask our producers to play, if you guys have the video that Kenny sent, that he had shot just last week, because our folks who have never been there, right now they just see it from above and they see the mess. Do you all have the video that we can show of, and it's pretty, it gives you a great example of why someone falls in love with this area. Not only the beauty, but the people.
Well, and that's true. Every year when I finish my show, we do shows in Foxborough, Massachusetts, to close out my touring year. And I took a bunch of my buddies, and we haven't gone on a boys trip fishing in a long time. And just last week, we went down there, and it was, Robin, it was beautiful. The island was beautiful. It was everything that you fall in love with the Virgin Islands. And like I do, I have my phone and I was, videoing just certain stuff. But I was looking through my phone last night, and to see all these images that we see on television and all the pictures that people sent back, and to look on my phone at all this video and these pictures.
There you go. That
was just 4 days ago. It just made it, it just breaks my heart, But I tell you that I just got, like I said earlier, the people is what I've been thinking about the most, because those people helped change me as a human being, and I've got some of the best friends in my life down there, that knew me before I got famous, that knew me before my life changed, and that's why I have said my heart goes out to all these people, because they're just so wonderful, and they're facing the hardest time of their life right now.
Well, the islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, at least St. John, it depends mostly on tourism as its economy.
Okay.
And so this is just adding to the challenge. And as we think about that, too, know that we have so many folks in Florida, up through Georgia and North Carolina as well, who are bracing for this storm. And this may be an example, even though it's a 4 right now, not a Category 5, of what a storm can do as they look at our fellow Americans and what they're going through in the USVI.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in the state of Florida. I'm watching right now. Where the eye is and going over the, hitting through the Bahamas, and I've got a lot of friends in that area, a lot of friends in Key West, and then throughout the state of Florida. And I've actually had a couple of people say, "No, we're going to stay and ride it out." And I don't know what they don't understand about the biggest storm in history.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that mentality. So, because you can just see all these images, and it's, somebody asked me the other day to explain to them what this looks like, and I'm not there firsthand, but everything that I'm getting from my friends that were able to hike from my house downtown to see what it looked like said it looked biblical in nature. It was just so gone, and
that's a good way to put it. Yeah, biblical in nature. And we see a lot of folks will go down there and charter and try to get out on a boat themselves, whether it's called bear boating, meaning that you try to be the captain yourself, or it's charter and you're hiring people who know what they're doing. But I see so many of those boats flipped over. That's another big thing about the economy there. So I know you're not ready just yet to give details about how you hope that you and what they call No Shoes Nation is going to be able to help, but what's going through your mind about what you intend to do?
Well, there's a lot of things. My mind is racing because I want to do everything. But I've got a lot of smart people around me that are helping me channel this energy to do what's best and how we can help the most. And I have started, even though it's too early to really say, where the money's going to go and how people can give yet. But I'm sure you've been on St. John a lot, Robin, and St. John's nickname is Love City. And it's because everybody there just gives. It's just a lot of love on the island, and it's just an island of giving. And I started a foundation last night. We just got it done, called Love for Love City. And it's going to be something that fans, everybody in No Shoes Nation can give to, because everybody's wanting to know how to give, how to help. And we're getting all those details now finalized.
So if they watch on your website, will they learn about Love for Love City Foundation in the hours and days to come? In the hours to come, and the day, maybe later today or in days to come. All of No Shoes Nation, anybody that's had that place be a part of their life can go to my website and figure out how to give to Love for Love City. And then there's also going to be a music at some point. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. There's also going to be a musical connection to help raise money because these islands have changed my life personally, but they've also changed my life musically. And like I said, music helps people heal. Music and music is medicine, and I know that all my family and my friends that are down in the U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands, those people need soulful healing right now. And I'm, like I said, I want to try to do everything I possibly can Will you
to
please
relieve some of that stress.
Well, I love that you're doing that. I'm sorry that your house is gone. I'm grateful that you're okay and that your friends were okay as well.
They were okay.
Would you let us know when that gets set up so we can tell the folks too? And do you have some feelings and words of advice too for the folks watching from Florida?
Well, like I said, I've got a lot of friends in the state of Florida, from Key West, and, just all through the East Coast. We don't really know the track of this storm just yet, because it could change and go really north, and then all of a sudden people in South Carolina, Georgia are affected. So, but I just want them to listen. We've been very fortunate to have, I've been watching a lot of the CNN and all the news outlets and the Weather Channel to see, every second of where this thing is going. And, they've had the governor of the state of Florida on there begging people to get out. And I think that's the best advice that you could have, because, the Virgin Islands didn't have those people standing up saying get out. Yes, they've lived there a lot, and they've lived through a lot of hurricanes. But honestly, who could see this coming? You see these images on the screen, and you can't prepare for that. I think when people say, this is the largest storm in the Atlantic on record, you don't really know what that means until it hits, and it's just devastating. And so for all the people in Florida that are trying to ride this storm out, just please get out.
Yeah. And prayers for them, too. I know on your website you had said, be safe, tell someone how much you care, remember to spread the love. And you say, pray, send good thoughts to everyone who's been affected or is in the path of Hurricane Irma.
That's right. And there's a lot of interesting things going on, not to forget about Houston and not to forget about all the wildfires going on out west. There's just a lot of interesting, really tough things going on in our country right now. And I think that, it's something that we're all going to be able to hopefully come together and spread a lot of love and resources and try to make things better for everyone.
Are you going to rebuild?
I'm going to rebuild, but not before everybody else gets rebuilt.
In other words, you want to help the other people first. You know what, Kenny? Don't I remember too that I'm like, man, do storms chase you or something? Because I remember, right, that your house on the river in the Nashville area got flooded a few years back, and you had to vacate that thing.
I did. I think, it sure did. When in Nashville, when all the big flood happened, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago? Yeah, that got flooded. But so yeah, maybe maybe I'm cursed. Who knows? But I'll tell you right now.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
I think that the thing to worry about right now is my heart is just I know all of these people down in the Virgin Islands that had homes that were safe, but they weren't built like mine, and they're just really struggling and hurting, and that's who I want to help first.
Yeah.
And those, and like I said, my mind's racing everywhere to try to figure out. You want to do everything at once, and we can't. So we're just figuring out the best way to do that.
But that is an indication. Your well-built house, stone, mortar, hurricane-tested windows, compared to what would be like a traditional, maybe West Indies type of cottage that in the past had survived these, by example, is not surviving this.
Right. And so there's a lot of devastation and a lot of people to help, and I think that's where my focus is and where my heart is, and where I think all this music is going to go. That we're going to hopefully, it's too early to say if we're going to do a concert, a record, or whatever, but we're going to do something that really raises a lot of money to make these people feel better and to give them some hope and let them know that everything's going to be all right.
What is the address for your website, your No Shoes Nation?
For my website is just KennyChesney.com.
Okay, KennyChesney.com.
That's right. And all the information for Love for Love City will be up there momentarily later today at some point. And the foundation is already set up, but we did that late last night, and so it's like momentarily today all that stuff will be set up, and everybody can give to that, and there'll be other ways also, in the future, and I'm contemplating doing a lot of other things that people can be a part of.
I appreciate the fact that you were willing to come on and talk and share what the people there are going through while you're still sorting out the details of the foundation and how you will be setting that up to help. And thank you for doing that. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and are you ready to see it firsthand or not just yet?
Well, I was going to go. I was going to go this morning, but I'm going to wait till cause as we're sitting here talking about this, there's another storm behind it, and so I was going to go down this morning and just spend the day, but you can't fly into St. Thomas yet, and so the military's flying into St. Croix. And so I was going to go into St. Croix, but we weren't sure we could get helicopters over to St. John. So it's just an interesting time right now, and I was going to wait till a lot of that got situated. And so I'm going to let the next storm pass through, and then I'm going to go down for a while and see it firsthand.
Okay. Here is hopes for your friends there, for your family. And Kenny, thank you so much. And
Thanks for
we
having me,
will.
Robin.
All right, thank you. And we'll let our folks know too when that all gets set up and ready to go.